You know that feeling when it rains, how everything feels refreshed and cleaner afterward?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Just
Yeah,
nature doing its thing.
exactly. But what if that image, rain itself, held a much deeper, a spiritual meaning in some really old texts? Something way beyond just water falling from the sky.
It really does. And that's what we're getting into today. We're doing a deep dive into this really insightful piece by Dr. Roy E. Richmond. He tackles a great question from someone named Bland Marquisha about the metaphysical meaning of rain in a couple of key verses, Deuteronomy 11.14 and Leviticus 26.4.
Right. So our goal here, our mission, is to kind of peel back that literal layer, and see what spiritual truths Dr. Roy uncovers. And this isn't just like abstract theology. It's about how these ancient ideas might actually connect to your own growth, your inner knowing, maybe even those moments of divine insight you might have.
Yeah, get ready for some potential aha moments, seriously, because we're going to see how rain shifts from water drops to this powerful symbol for teaching, for inner guidance, and real transformation inside you.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Where does Dr. Roy start? What's the core idea?
So he kicks things off with a definition that just flips the whole thing on its head. He says, point blank, rain here isn't physical rain. Allegorically, it's teaching, it's learning. It's what he calls the descending flow of divine revelation of the Logos into the receptive awareness of the sacred self.
Whoa, okay, let's pause there for a second. Those are some big terms, logos and sacred self. Can you unpack those a bit in this context?
Yeah, absolutely. Good call. So when Dr. Rowe talks about logos, he doesn't just mean word. Think of it more like the underlying divine reason, the creative truth, almost like a living wisdom.
Okay, like the essence of truth itself.
Exactly. And the sacred self. That's your deepest, truest spiritual identity. It's not your everyday personality or ego, but that divine core within you.
Got it. So the rain is like spiritual teaching flowing from spirit into that deep inner part of us.
Precisely. It's divine instruction, divine utterance, flowing down from the realm of spirit and watering the field of our awareness, our sacred self. And here's a really crucial point he makes.
What's that?
Rain does not create life. It awakens what has been planted. It's not making something new appear. It's nurturing the divine seed that's already inside you.
That's a key distinction. Okay, so with that understanding, let's look at the first verse, Leviticus 26.4. It says, "Then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit."
Mm,
Now, on the surface, yeah, that sounds like a great farming forecast.
right, like good crops are coming. But Dr. Roy says it's way more profound, that phrase, rain in due season. It's not about the calendar. He explains it means spiritual teaching and inner knowing arriving at the perfect time for your sacred self, the right moment for you.
So not when you're trying to force it.
Exactly. Not when you're operating from what he calls law and effort, like
Yeah.
trying to earn it through rigid rules or just intellectual work. It comes when the soil of your awareness has been tilled by spirit, when you're genuinely ready, receptive to receive that implanted Logos word. And this truth can come, he says, either from that inner spirit voice or through consecrated messengers, people who embody and share that wisdom.
Okay, that makes sense. So if the land isn't actual soil, what does it mean when it says the land shall yield her increase? What's increasing?
Good question. The land, Dr. Roy clarifies, is your own field of awareness, your consciousness.
Yeah.
When that gets saturated with the spirit teaching, this rain, it doesn't yield crops. It yields increased understanding, a deeper peace, what he calls the spiritual law of abundant life. It's really about your divine consciousness expanding within you, your inner world blossoming.
Right, right. An inner harvest. And then the next part, the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. Who are the trees? What's the fruit?
So the trees of the field, in this view, symbolize people. People who teach or live out the Logos. They're seen as like fruitful branches of the tree of life.
Yeah.
And the fruit they yield, or that you yield when your awareness is aligned, is the fruit of your true nature. Things like righteousness, love, joy, wisdom, wholeness.
Wow.
Yeah. So the big insight here for Leviticus, according to Dr. Roy, isn't about getting outer rewards. It's showing you an inner reality. How embracing this spiritual rain lets your whole being just flower with the results of that connection to the divine. It's about becoming it.
That's really powerful. Okay, so Leviticus shows this inner blossoming. Now let's switch over to Deuteronomy 11.14. This one adds another layer, right? It says, "Then I will give the rain of your land in his due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your grain, your new wine, and your oil." Again, sounds agricultural.
But it's not. Just like Leviticus, this verse is talking about divine teaching, spiritual understanding, that constant movement of truth into your awareness.
Okay.
When it says, I will give the rain of your land, the I is the divine mind, the source of all wisdom, speaking through, as Dr. Roy puts it, your holy breath and that inward voice.
And your land is, again, my awareness, my inner world.
Exactly. Your individual field of awareness, your conscious being, your personal world. And the Father gives, that phrase, I will give, it means that divine truth is revealed. It flows into your awareness.
Yeah.
But it flows as you become attuned, as you yield to that inner voice of spirit, and maybe listen to your logos teachers. It's about reception.
It's an act of receiving, not just waiting passively.
Precisely. You have to tune in.
And we see in his due season, again here, same meaning as before, about inner readiness.
Yes, emphatically. Not the calendar, but your season of readiness. Divine timing aligned with your awakening process. It's like you wouldn't expect a seed to sprout if the ground is frozen, right?
Right.
At that moment when you're truly receptive, when, as the texts say, you have ears to hear and eyes to see, when all the noise, the distractions of outer law and religious intellect have quieted down.
So letting go of rigid dogma and just trying to figure it all out intellectually.
Yeah, letting that go so your heart and mind can really open up. That's when the living word, the instruction, can actually be poured out and received.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me. The first rain and the latter rain. That sounds like distinct phases. How does Dr. Roy explain these two?
Oh, this is beautiful. He says they aren't two separate downpours, but two distinct stages of your spiritual development and realization.
Stages. Okay.
The first rain is that initial spark, that awakening to spiritual truth. The moment you start turning away from just external religion, just rules, and you sense there's something more, you hear the inner whisper saying, come up higher. It's the beginning of genuine spiritual curiosity, the first real taste of deeper understanding.
So the first rain is the wake-up call, the initial opening. What about the latter rain?
The latter rain describes the mature flow. It's like an inner saturation with divine understanding. It's not just a spark anymore, it's a steady stream. And this leads to a continual harvest, ongoing spiritual fruit-bearing. It brings rest, a solid sense of your true identity, and that full consciousness of oneness, of connection.
So if the first rain gets the seed stirring,
the latter rain brings it to full bloom. It helps you really walk in the fullness of who you truly are, spiritually. It's less about one big event and more about a continuous deepening.
that makes so much sense, a progression. Okay, so what about the results mentioned? That you may gather in your grain, your new wine, and your oil. What do these represent?
These are the spiritual fruits, the faculties that blossom in a life, live from this awakened state. So, grain, sometimes called corn or wheat, symbolizes the living word made conscious. It's your daily spiritual food, your ongoing instruction, like the bread of inner revelation that sustains you day by day. It becomes part of you.
Not just theory, but substance.
Exactly. The new wine, that represents the joy, the vibrant energy, the spiritual vitality that comes from being aware of the divine within. It's the sheer delight of knowing your true identity and sharing that naturally with others.
And oil.
Oil signifies illumination, anointing. It's the clear light of understanding that just permeates your awareness. And in Dr. Roy's view, it also sets you apart as a consecrated messenger, someone who can clearly transmit this wisdom.
Wow, so gather them in isn't like hoarding treasure.
Not at all. It means embodying these things, becoming them. So they aren't just concepts you talk about, but realities you live and breathe. They flow through you. It's about total integration. Your life demonstrates the truth you've received.
So if we weave both verses, Leviticus and Deuteronomy, together now, what's the big picture they paint of this spiritual path?
Yeah, when you see them together through this lens, they really map out this incredible sacred cycle of spiritual growth.
Okay.
You have the Father, the divine mind, continually offering understanding, the Logos teaching like this rain coming down from spirit into the soil of your awareness. Okay. And as you become receptive, as you consciously choose to listen, to say yes to that inner spirit voice, you receive both that initial awakening, the first rain, and then the mature, steady flow of truth, the latter rain.
So this rain isn't just a one-off insight. It's an ongoing thing, a process that changes you.
Exactly. It's described as truly life-giving instruction. It brings deep, lasting transformation. It enables you to live from that deeper Logos life within you, not just your surface self.
And that leads to the harvest.
Right. Gathering the grain of understanding for your daily sustenance. sipping the new wine of that overflowing inner joy, and letting the oil of wisdom and teaching flow through you to others, to what Dr. Roy calls a parched world. A world that's really thirsty for this kind of deeper truth. It's a beautiful picture, isn't it? A life that's constantly nourished and, in turn, nourishes others.
It really is. What a complete shift in perspective. Seeing rain not just as weather, but as this dynamic symbol for spiritual nourishment, for profound inner change. It's not about waiting for something external, is it? It's about cultivating that inner receptivity. It makes you wonder how often we might miss these showers of insight because we're just not tuned in.
That's exactly the point. And Dr. Roy actually ends his piece with this really direct encouragement for you, the listener. He says, position your awareness, tune your ear, let the rain fall, and let the harvest of divine truth fill your being.
Wow, that's a call to action. So maybe something to think about as you go through your day. How can you consciously cultivate your own inner landscape, make it more receptive to this divine rain, and what kind of unique spiritual harvest might start to grow in your life, in your relationships, on your own journey, if you do?